It's an addiction.
It is. It's a bad habit.
But it's a dopamine hit. People love it. The thing is, we know it's bad, but I want to do it from a slightly different angle, which is you do it because you love it. You see, nobody will ever say they love it. No, because the thing is, the minute you realize it's an addiction and it's a hit, it's like it's your heroin hit.
Yes.
Is why otherwise you wouldn't go house to house to house. You do it because you love it. You see, nobody will ever say they love it. The minute you realize it's an addiction and it's a hit, it's like it's your heroin hit.
Yes.
Is why otherwise you wouldn't go house to house to house.
We're depleting our soul power, the other person's soul power, which is, priceless, right? So don't do it.
Hi, my name is Sophie and I am a love, life and relationship coach.
I'm the founder of Your Saheli. Your Saheli is a women's empowerment group, and today we're going to be talking about gossip. Feel it's a topic that, again, it's something that's not spoken about, whereas everybody's doing it. So why not talk about it? Because we all do it and we all like a bit of gossip, right? Because often, obviously we call it juggly, right? Yeah. Often, people say, oh, anything new? What's new? They're coming from like, yeah, what you got to tell me? And I think everybody does it. Am I doing it? I need to stop.
What is gossip? And I have to say I was looking it up actually because I wanted a proper definition. So I'm going to read it off Wikipedia and tell me if you agree with me. Gossip is idle talk or rumor, especially about the personal or private affairs of others. The act is also known as dishing and tattling. And I think one of the biggest components of gossiping, is that the person that you're gossiping about is usually not there. Gossip is so delicious. Oh my God, when it leaves the mouth of the person sharing and it hits your ears, it's like a waft of beautiful air.
Yes.
There are times when it might be somebody, it's always going to be somebody that you know. It is always going to be someone that you know. And someone shares information about them and you're like, oh my God, I just wanted to hear about their downfall. Oh my God, isn't it just wonderful to hear that nothing good is happening in their life? Gossip, I think, is such an incredible time pass. So if I go back to my childhood and growing up in the community, everybody gossiped. It was just one of those things, the auntie would turn up at the house because she was brimming with news and information that she wanted to share. And she may have heard a rumor and she needed to go house to house to house, telling as many people as possible. So it's very similar to the Sun, Daily Mail, just on a very one-to-one basis rather than on a mass scale. The listener and the person that was dishing out the news were enjoying this experience together immensely. And I think that's the thing about gossip, isn't it? Even though it's extremely hurtful, it is the fact that there are two people participating in this game of idle rumor. And it is, I agree, completely dangerous.
And it's the more mouths something like this travels through, there's more added. Like they say, a bit of mirchi masala from each person gets added. And it can be so dangerous. Sometimes it can be so harmful for the person we're talking about when we don't know the facts. It gets back to that person, the way it's traveling. Sometimes, it can make that person suicidal. So we do have to be mindful about this kind of thing, about spreading rumors, unless you know the facts. For example, somebody's genuinely made a mistake, and then we telling other people, because you're already giving them bad vibes, right? Then the other person is adding to that.
Yeah, I remember going to mosque and gossip is called ghibat. Like in Punjabi it's juggly, but in Arabic it's ghibat. And that essentially means, it's like, would you take a chunk out of your dead brother's back? It's called backbiting.
Yes.
So would you take a chunk out of your dead brother's back? Because gossip and backbiting is the equivalent of doing that. You are taking a chunk out of someone. And if you think one is okay, then the other is okay. But this is not okay.
It breaks relationships, it breaks trust. And there's a saying in Punjabi, juggly can rip a stone open. That's how powerful it is.
Yeah. I believe that.
Yeah, they say juggly hai na, patthar paar dindi hai. Nothing else can rip a butter, right, so easily, but juggly is that powerful and that dangerous. It would make me sad that somebody's, saying this about me, but then I would also approach that person and say, I heard this. Have I upset you? What have I said? Do you want to share? And if that person was felt strong enough about whatever they were saying, they shouldn't have a problem actually saying it to my face. Because if I had gossiped about somebody and I'd said something, I would say it, because if I've said something, I'd only say it if I had evidence for what I'm saying. So I would then say, yes, I said this because I heard this or I saw this. If you've done the gossip or you've spoken about somebody, at least be brave enough to say, yes, I said this because I saw this. Because half the time you haven't seen anything, and it's just in your little head, you've made assumptions about people.
There was a family member where the father tried to kill himself, and I think it happened quite a lot because of the fact that the community was talking about this. So somebody may have gone house to house to house, and the next thing you know, the community is now all twittering away. I suppose, do you think they got the name Twitter from that? It's like all the twitterings and curtain twitching and, chatting behind somebody's back can make you feel like you're standing alone, completely naked, and everybody can see you. It's awful.
It is. And like you said, it can destroy lives, and don't do it. Because, the other thing, Sophie, the vibration of the person gossiping, the gossiper, the one they're gossiping to, and also the person that they're talking about. They can feel it. It gets to them. And look how low the vibration is of the gossiper. Okay, they might like doing this or feel they're, popular because they've got the latest goss. But their vibration, they must be vibrating from a very low place.
I think about gossip. I think you're sharing information that is not nice. It's never going to be nice. It's not going to be like, oh my God, do you know that guy over there made £1 million? He worked really hard. I'm so proud of him. That is not happening. What's happening is you're going to somebody else and you're saying, did you know? And you kind of look around. Did you know his wife left him? He was blah, blah, blah. Or she's doing this. Unless you are in the person's house or inside their mind, you don't know what's happening. You're talking about something that's extremely negative. And the person that's listening is equally the same. And I don't care whether you say, hey, I wasn't participating, but your ears are opening and receiving.
Firstly, if I see a group sat together like that, thinking, oh, this is what they're doing, I'll avoid that table. I'll go and sit on another table.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So I'm quite good like that. I'll avoid certain individuals if I feel it's not right for me, so it's okay. But if I did get caught in the middle of it, and I was sitting on a table and all of a sudden it started or somebody joined us, then it's a different scenario. I would actually say, I'm sorry, I don't know them. Or I'm sorry, I haven't heard it. And I think that in a way stops that person going any further with you. It's so easy to get sucked into it and listen. And then you're like, oh my God. And you're judging that person because you're kind of got sucked into this gossiper who's telling you X, Y, Z, and you're judging that other person, but you don't know the other person's story. There's always two sides to everything. We're all human and we all like a bit of gossip, right? So it is easy to get sucked into it. Dysfunction, and there's somebody trying to talk about somebody that I knew, and I immediately said, I really don't know anything and I don't want to be a part of this, because I just think the vibration of the person talking and the vibration of the person taking it and the person that you're talking about, and looking at their weaknesses, look what we're doing to that person and what we're doing to ourselves. Come on, it's not needed. Today you're talking about her like this, tomorrow you could be talking about me like this, and I'm not going to be a part of this, and I'm not wanting this on my conscience, because what has she done that's actually upset you? She hasn't done what you're telling me here. She hasn't really done anything to affect your life. So why are we judging her? The old me, would look at it differently, would probably listen and then start judging the other person as well. But instead, I thought, no, this is taking me away from where I am. It's the present moment. That's all I've got. I'm at this function. But you talking like this, I'm not really enjoying this function. because I'm getting more engrossed with what you've got to say, and I don't want to be a part of this. It's so easy to get sucked into it. And you think, because I've had this happen, I don't want anyone else to go through this. For me personally, I look at it like that.
Many years ago, I did a wonderful course actually. And within that course, the person that was teaching taught me about this thing called a tongue fast, which I would love to share with everybody. If you feel that your life is being affected by gossip, or perhaps you no longer want to gossip, or perhaps you are tired of listening to gossip, or you just want to, I don't know, you feel like you need some kind of a change. Perhaps as you travel down the path of life, you realize there are certain behaviors you don't like. You know, a negative vibration will only bring more negativity no matter what. And so the tongue fast forces you to actually think about every single word and every single thought. Now, this is going to sound really freaky because we have thousands upon thousands of thoughts, and we utter thousands upon thousands of words every single day. A lot of them are a pattern. A lot of the thoughts that you have, they're just a loop. You'll keep thinking the same thing. It's just that if you are not aware of your thoughts, it will just go round and round and percolate. But imagine you had a journal and you started to write down all the thoughts that you were having, why you were having them, who you are having them about, how are they coming about? How is it that you're just washing up and suddenly the mind just travels down a little tunnel, and next thing you know, you're thinking about people, and then so-and-so did this to me, and then the hatred, emotions and feelings and all of this gets added onto the thought, all the layers. So when you start to think about, what are my thoughts? You stop for a moment.
Cause and effect, isn't it, of everything? Okay? We don't think of the effect it'll happen. We look at the causes, why we're doing it. Or
you know what it is? It's an addiction.
It is. It's a bad habit.
But it's a dopamine hit. People love it. The thing is, we know it's bad, but you do it because you love it. You see, nobody will ever say they love it, because the thing is, the minute you realize it's an addiction and it's a hit, it's like it's your heroin hit. Yes. Is why otherwise you wouldn't go house to house to house. You can actually hear them, and you think about your thoughts, and then you stop yourself and you become an observer to the thoughts. You just stand next to yourself and you look at what you're thinking. I hope this is kind of making sense.
It is.
Because the thing is, in order for something to come from here, it has to first come from the back of the head, travel to the front of the mouth, and then out it comes. So gossip is the same. First it's a thought, it percolates, and then out it comes, and it's shared with everyone. Before it can leave the mouth, you've already written it down. And then you start to stop yourself before you say your words. And you start to have it, let's say you have a day, you say, right, this Tuesday coming up, I'm going to have a tongue fast. And you monitor the words that leave your mouth. So you're sitting with a friend, and before any of the gossip even comes, you've already thought it. Yeah. You stop yourself. And I'll tell you something, if you also start to monitor how you spend your time, this will have a big effect. So if you've got nothing to do, find something to do. There are millions of things to do. You can go and get a hobby. You can go and work with underprivileged people. You can go and work in a soup kitchen. We've got 7 charity shops on our high street. They are always looking for volunteers. There's a million things you could read. You can go back to college. Please, my father-in-law went back to college at 70. So, age is so irrelevant. There are millions of things for you to do. Fill your time. Monitor your thoughts, monitor your words. And you can't give the responsibility of your life to someone else. Yeah. The words that you choose to say create the experience that you have of your life, not of somebody else's life. You may have gone out there and you may have spread bad things about other people. And yes, it may affect their life, but I guarantee you will pay the price of the words that you say out there. I did my tongue fast. I really thought about the words I was leaving. Now, if somebody was to start gossiping, I'm not interested. I'm sorry, I'm not interested in negative news coming my way entering my mind, taking up free space, I'm just not interested. The only space being taken up in my mind is for things that I want to do, the love that I have for the things that I enjoy doing, spending time with the people that I love. I will give space in my mind to my children, my husband, my friends, my family that I truly love, who elevate me. But anyone that wants to bring my vibration down, I just do not want to sit with you. Those are the rules I have for my life. You know, it's really crazy. And I know I've been practicing this over the last few years, but if someone was gossiping about me, firstly, thank you for gossiping about me. I must be freaking interesting.
Yes.
And secondly, I appreciate that you're focused so much on me and not on yourself. So thank you for giving me that time. And thirdly, it makes zero difference to me, zero difference to me if someone is gossiping about me, because I know me. And I think that's the thing I try and teach all of my clients. When you are as strong as a freaking tree, you are strong as an oak tree. And you are coming from that space where you are unshakable, you know you. It doesn't matter what the world says, because the world will speak. The world will go out there and they will say this, that, and the other. But when you don't know you, and you are affected by the power of someone else's words, by the power of someone else's thoughts, by the power of, what's happening out there and not what's happening in here, you will always be shakeable. So you will, it's like you're at the top of an ocean and you're just being flung around. I want to hear about the great, amazing things that are happening. I don't want to hear about somebody's going through a terrible time and let's all gossip and laugh about it. No, thank you.
Thank you. That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that, because what I'd like to add is, how we hear your thoughts can make you really ill. Your thoughts can make you really well as well. So keep them positive and keep them upbeat. And like you said, do something, because, a free mind is a monkey mind.
Yeah.
So, as long as you're busy, as long as you're improving yourself, and share your success stories, because that'll encourage the other to share their successes.
Yes.
And talk about people's achievements, because there's so much to do. And when we spend time with the loved ones, the last thing we want to do is talk about anything negative, because all we have is that present moment. And I want to share, my time with the people I love, and the people whose eyes light up when they see me coming. They're my sort of people. So I know when I recognize them. And, this is what your Saheli is all about, talking about all things taboo, but then also finding a solution.
If you really don't believe what we're saying, please have a look around at all the people around you. You are the sum of the people in your community. You are the sum of the people that you hang around with. You are literally the average person in that room. So if the vibration is really low and your life is, I don't know, not going the way you would like it to go, look around you. That's what you've built. And when you hang around with people that are, they want to go out there, they're go-getters, they're positive thinkers, positive words come out of their mouth, they elevate you. You want to go out there and be that type of person that enjoys the world, enjoys their life, enjoys their present moment. That is totally in your hands.
Absolutely. And look, Sophie, we're seekers. We're always seeking. Yeah. And I'd say to anybody, if life isn't going your way, get yourself a life coach, get yourself a mentor, or be around seekers, people Definitely. That are go to small events, because you'll find someone to motivate you and uplift you. And that's the start of the journey. So just keep making yourself better than you were yesterday, because that's all we have. And come on, let's be the best versions of ourselves. Like you said, Sophie, all that matters is what you think of yourself and how you see yourself.
100%. So when you become rooted, you become strong, you're like a tree trunk. And yes. You know who you are. It doesn't matter if people speak or they don't speak. In fact, it winds up those that are speaking about you, because they cannot get to you the way they would like to get to you. And by becoming true to yourself, by being authentic, by recognizing who you are, by knowing who you are giving yourself the greatest gift of life, freedom. Greatest freedom you can. It's liberating, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. And so after today, if anybody says, let's have a chat, or I've got something to tell you, what are you going to say, Sophie?
Get out of here.
Get out of here. Come on. Let's for
Get
just
out of
one
my
day.
face.
Just for one day. Let's just focus on us.
Yeah.
Let's see where we can improve ourselves.
Yeah.
Come on. Let's for one day not do it. And it becomes whatever you start to set your mind to, it becomes habit anyway, doesn't it?
It does. It really does. And if you decide to do the tongue fast, if you decide to get a journal and do the tongue fast, please let us know below. I am really fascinated to know how that works for you and whether that's been helpful. I hope it has. It doesn't matter what happens in someone else's life. The biggest thing I would love for people to take away from this, it is none of your damn business. And we very much look forward to seeing you next time.
Absolutely. And keep your vibration high and the vibration of others high.